Let's recap on what are strategies and tactics from Chapter 1, Lesson 4. A strategy is a general plan or goals, and tactics are the objectives or steps that will help us achieve the strategy. Nowadays, strategies in soccer are being called game models, but both point to the same outcome. A game model is nothing more than a combination of strategies put together by the coaching staff for a particular team. For each team you coach, you will design and implement attacking strategies, defending strategies, fixed play strategies, corner kicks, free kicks, throw-ins for both the attacking and defensive phases, transition strategies, both attack to defense and defense to attack. The tactical behaviors will be applied by the players. Strategies are designed and implemented before the game and reviewed during practice. Tactics are carried out by players during the game. Strategies try to solve aspects that are global and generic in nature. For example, what formation to use. Players will try to solve aspects of the game by applying tactical behaviors. Strategies are done through thought and tactics through actions, which is the reason we called them tactical behaviors. Strategies are planned, using various philosophical approaches to program design, many of which we have already discussed. Tactics are trained behaviors that are learned during practices and develop long-term. It takes years of training to learn and internalize these behaviors, not just one practice session. Strategies are meant to manage the team long-term, while tactics are used to manage the game itself. Strategies are stable. Once created, they required little modification if done correctly, while tactics are variable, since players need to adjust to the behavior of opponent and their teammates, climate conditions, and context of the game. The strategy you design for your team will have an impact on the tactical behavior each player needs to carry out in a game. Crafting training activities to hone tactical skills using the global method is a breeze. Simply choose from small, medium, or large-sized games. From there, you can tweak the grid size. Smaller fields mean faster games and quicker decision-making. Tailor the field size to your players' skill levels. Unfortunately, many youth coaches just throw 2 goals in the field and proceed to play games, without implementing all the rules of the game. Remember, the global method is a game of soccer. The following tips will help your global activities be more realistic and increase their effectiveness as a training tool. Tip number 1. When you implement the global method in your training sessions, you must create the lines of the field. Use cones as shown in the example. Now, you may think this is trivial, but each area of the field requires different tactical behaviors. Let's take a look at defending in a field where line marking exists and one without the marking. Defending in the goal area is different. We must be careful not commit fouls that end up in a penalty. Without the goal area, players cannot practice this. Also, the opposite is true. When attacking, we want players to get inside the goal area as quickly as possible, as now defenders cannot be as aggressive, and gives the player in possession an advantage of beating the opponent in a 1v1 situation. Having the midfield line ensures players can not longer cherry-pick, as they will be in an offside position, and this will aid in maintaining team shape. Tip number 2. Always include a goalkeeper. If you do not have 2 goalkeepers, use field players to play this position and rotate every 5 minutes. Scoring on goals without a goalkeeper will create a false confidence that scoring is easy, and your players will miss scoring opportunities under match conditions. Tip number 3. You or an assistant must referee the game. Players need to learn to react to the presence or absence of the whistle. Understanding the advantage rule is crucial to playing the game, and this can only be learned if someone officiates games during practice. Tip number 4. Use the offside rule always. This will help your defenders learn to implement the offside trap and your attackers how to avoid being caught offside. Don't expect your players to carry out these tactical behaviors if they are not trained during practice. Remember, you can only transfer skills that players are exposed to and assimilated during practices. Although this may seem obvious and apparent, it is surprising at how many youth coaches just go through the motion of playing the game without setting up the field properly. And now that you have the proper environment, we need to add the last piece to the puzzle. Every game we play, must be accompanied of specific tactical behaviors we want to establish. These tactical behaviors are dependent on the game model and the learning objectives of the current microcycle. This step in designing the activity is crucial since it will keep us focused and avoid getting sidetracked and coaching topics that are not part of the microcycle objectives. The analytical method can also be used to teach tactical maneuvers, combination play, and collective play within the different lines or groups within a team's formation. With this type of activity, we look to create patterns our young players can recognize during match conditions. We can break these tactical behaviors from individual, group, and team tactics. Individual tactics. 1v1 defensive grids. With this activity, the objective is to develop the proper behavior during the defensive phase of our players, marking the opponent in possession of the ball. Group tactics. Movement of the back four. Now we add to the behavior we want of the group in pressure, cover, and balance. Team tactics. Pressing on the outside channel. With the previous behaviors mastered, we can now develop the collective behavior on how to press the opponent on the outside channels. Since the cognitive load on these activities are low, we must follow them with either a conditional or global game, where our young players can immediately apply the new learnt tactical behavior. The conditional method is ideal for tactical development, as it will force players to repeat a particular tactical behavior over and over. The following are variables you can use to create conditional games. 1. Time-based conditional games. 3 seconds to restart. Players have 3 seconds to take a throw-in, execute a free kick, corners, etc. 5 minutes left in the game. Teach players how to execute tactical behaviors under time constraints. Attacking team has 5 minutes to score and level score. Defending team, do not allow a goal to be score and win championship. 15 seconds to finish. Every time a team gains possession, they have 15 seconds to shoot at goal. 2. Horizontal zones. Defenders cannot leave their defensive zone. Scoring only allowed from a particular zone. Ball must progress through all 3 zones for goal to be valid. 3. Vertical zones. During defensive phase, only 2 zones can be occupied. After X number of passes in one zone, switch ball to another zone. Put a box in middle to make attack go wide. Only 2 touches inside box, which will force the game to play on the outside channels. 4. Touches, minimum and maximum touches. Minimum touches forces players to develop their first touch and dribbling skills. Maximum touches to improve speed in the decision process and execution of the pass. 5. Rondos, circular type activities, where a defender or 2 are in the middle of the circle or square, to teach players how to quickly circulate the ball in order to maintain possession. 6. Possession games. We can categorize possession games into generic and functional games. Generic are not position-oriented and look to teach players the concept of maintaining possession. Functional possession games are position-specific activities that teach players how to combine with teammates in proximity and relative to their position. 7. Conquering zones. End zones. Can only score by receiving the ball in the end zone. Boxes. Can only score by receiving ball inside boxes. First team to conquer all 4 boxes wins. 8. Finishing type games, where a goal can only be scored from crosses, headers only, third man run only, after number 9 combines, inside goal area only, outside goal area only. 9. Repetitions or waves. With transitions, attackers become defenders after each wave. No transitions. Defenders stay for X amount of attacks, then new defenders are placed. The conditional method is highly adaptive, and the limit is only your creativity and imagination. But with the previous list, You can create a variation of games to challenge your young players.